Hi, I'm John Cromie, co-founder of Atlas Load Bearing Equipment. On behalf of Matt Coleman and Michael Piccone, I'd like to thank you for your purchase of the Generation 2 tack plate modular system. In the mail, you should have received a white box like this. Open it up and you have your tack plates and a flyer. We included this flyer. If the tack plates make a difference in your life, we hope you'll spread the word to other officers. 2 tack plates and some padding. You can set the padding in the box aside. Notice on the back of one of the tack plates you'll find 4 Velcro straps just bundled together. You can go ahead and pull those apart. These are a double-sided Velcro strap that loop back on one another. These are to replace the zip ties of the Gen 1 system. A couple things to note about the Gen 2 tack plate. This is a higher quality carbon than the Gen 1 system. It uses a different resin technology, different layup process, and it should be a lot more abrasion resistance and have a lot more durability than the Gen 1 carbon. Secondly, you'll notice a cutout, asymmetrical. There's now a specific right and left tack plate, so make sure that these cutouts go forward as you place these on the side of your hips. Secondly, you'll notice that there is no longer a row of holes on the top. We found that the material up above sometimes pinched the skin between the tack plate and the bottom of the ballistic vest. So this now sits flush with the top of your belt and is very low profile. So included in your package were a left and a right tack plate and 4 Velcro straps. It's important to note that tack plates attach via Velcro to the garrison belt, and so a Velcro lined garrison belt is required but not included with the tack plates. Most of the major brands sell these. They're very common, very inexpensive, and so the most cost-effective way to complete the system is just to pick up a Velcro-lined garrison belt. Also important to realize is that you will probably need to loosen your duty belt slightly to accommodate the tack plates. If you get the whole thing integrated and it just feels way too tight, you need to loosen your belt just a little bit. So let's go ahead and get started with the integration. The tack plates, remember the right and the left with the cutout forward, are simply designed to go right here on your hips. Set the center line of the tack plate even with the outer seam of your pants. That's about where they need to go. So take your duty belt and find approximately where that sits. Typically a good reference is your gun holster. And the tack plates are just going to go right behind the gun holster. I've omitted some of the items here that many of you carry just for clarity, but you can imagine what this would look like with this equipment closer in. The key is to find a place where you can slip a Velcro tie in between and underneath these pieces of equipment so that they go through some of these slots. Sometimes you might have to slide some components around a little bit to make some room. You can always bring them back. So decide what you want attached to the tack plate. The tack plate does a remarkable job of holding equipment in place, especially if you're using a leather system where if you have a tendency to pick it up at one end, it all slides down to the other. The tack plates will really lock everything in place. So decide what components you want to have bundled together and what components you want to allow to slide away. So for this example, I'm just going to put it right behind the holster. Take the hook side of the Velcro and attach it to the loop side, just a little tail above the hole that you want to use. I'm going to choose the outside hole, and I'll take the hook side and attach it to the loop side. So now I have a flush loop surface. And I'm just going to take this around, put it back up through the hole, cinch it down tight, and pull it right back over the top and lap it around, making sure that it's nice and square and even so I have good Velcro contact across the whole piece of equipment. Now I've still got a flush Velcro surface, and you can see the Velcro coming around that side. The reason you do this is that you can then take a piece of equipment and slide it over, and that'll just hide. You won't even see it. Okay, do the same on the other side. Find a logical place where it might go. It might be the outside hole, might be the inside hole. I'll choose the inside hole. Start the tail, bring it around, and now at this point your belt might start to curve because the tack plate has added some structure to it. I like to pinch this up here and cinch it tight. Draw it tight because you don't want anything to move once it's down. And then bring it around. Okay? And so you have a tack plate integrated with your duty belt. You can see it's very low visual profile. It's difficult to see, and especially as you add more gear, it'll just disappear behind your other pieces of equipment. All right. Let's go ahead and do the other side. I'm just going to guess at where this needs to be. From experience, I know it's right about here. Again, hook side goes against the loop so it catches. Bring it around, up through the hole. Cinch it down tight. And draw it around. Same thing on this side. I'm going to capture all 3 of these pieces of equipment. Take the hook side. Loop it around up through the hole. And we'll draw it around. Now you'll notice that the Velcro straps are 1/2 inch wide, but the slots in the tack plate are a little bit short of 1 inch. This is to allow you to give some flexibility. Maybe the Velcro strap has to angle a little bit to get around some pieces of equipment. It's your choice, it's your gear. You just have to do what you can to work that around. All right, so now you have a belt with 2 tack plates attached. Again, some of the gear might be able to move. Notice I'm wearing a Velcro lined inner belt as we discussed. The easiest way to get this set up is take your strong side, put your holster wherever you want it, and Velcro it on. Now the belt's hanging there, it's Velcroed on, and then bring the other side and just wrap it around. Now at this point your belt should basically stay of its own accord. And take a look, are the tack plates even? For me they're not quite, which means I got this one a little bit farther back. I'm going to reset. Again, start with the strong side, wrap it around, find the spot that's good, and then buckle up the belt. Okay? Now at this point, kind of take stock. Take a minute to walk around. It should feel different. What you should feel is it should feel a little bit looser up in the abdominal area, a little bit looser straight behind you, but you might feel a little bit tighter on the side. You want to adjust things until it's comfortable, but that's by design. The tack plate is designed to take the load from the front and the back and move it to the side into the hip structure where it's supposed to go. Now you can imagine, instead of all this, typically you're wearing a lot of gear forward, instead of all this hanging down, slipping down like this, you're going to find that things perch up, balance right here over your hip joint, and there's less induced pitching moment in the belt, and so everything's just going to go straight down your leg. Take a minute, get comfortable. Remember, you may have had to loosen your belt a little bit. Adjust things around, take the belt off, move components, get comfortable with it. If pieces don't like to slide, they may be pinched up against the carbon. Have to manipulate it a little bit. You can get those Velcro straps to hide. You can move them to different slots. But fundamentally, this is what it is. If you feel too much pressure right here on that hip bone, bias the plates back about 1 inch. Just slide them back, and that'll help spring load them and over the top of the hip. We still recommend you attach keepers to the front and to the back. The Velcro on the tack plate is strong enough that someone should be able to pick you up if you're wearing the right inner belt without keepers, and you'll find that your draw should be stabilized. However, it's a good idea to have a backup as use those keepers in the front and the back. At the end of your day, this is a lot easier than fishing out a whole bunch of keepers all over the place. You just Velcro it off, and the tack plates stay as part of your rig. Now you can hang your gear in your locker, and nothing's going to slide except maybe the piece down at the bottom might move a little bit, but it's all going to stay right where you want it. Low profile, low visibility, lightweight. You haven't added more than about 3 ounces to your belt, but it's going to feel a lot lighter. And that's the tack plate system. It's very low visual profile. You've only added about 3 ounces of weight to your belt, but as you're probably already experiencing, it makes your belt feel a whole lot lighter. If you have any trouble with it, please don't hesitate to give us a call, give us an email. I'm happy to talk you through it and coach you through it. Either way, we're very excited to have your feedback. Please send us feedback at atlaslbe.com, and we look forward to hearing from you. In the meantime, enjoy your tack plates and stay safe.